see more, Luke Cage and Iron Fist, and definitely want to see more Punisher. That dude, the dude that's fighting Frank Castle. Did you ever watch The Walking Dead?
No.
Oh, well, damn. Welcome to Barf City, episode 45. I'm Eric.
I'm Kevin.
Sorry for missing another week, people. Yeah, we're not very consistent sometimes. That's life, I guess. Had a lot of unexpected visitors
Yeah.
and adopted two cats,
I
two
just
little
started
kittens.
working on a new game, so it's been taking a lot of my attention. So I just
Yeah.
it completely slipped my mind. So
Yeah. Yeah. Well, other things going on in life. So, how's your weekend?
not bad. Just mostly sitting and working on my game, mostly.
Yeah, I knew my mom was coming down and she said she was bringing my nephew.
Yeah.
But what she didn't tell me is until like she came in and everyone else came barreling through my door that my sister, my niece, my sister's boyfriend, my niece's friend, all of them were going to be down too, and my
Really
sister's dad.
brought the whole party in.
Hmm. The only one that wasn't here was my brother and his kids.
Mhm.
So it was a nice, unexpected visit because I ain't seen my sister in almost a year.
Oh wow. I guess I haven't seen my other sister in like probably about a year.
Well, I mean, I just don't ha didn't ever I don't have the time to travel to
Yeah. I mean, she
see
lives
them.
further away from me, so that's why.
Yeah,
If
my
it wasn't for
sister.
that, I'd see her more often.
Yeah, I live about 4.5 hours away from them.
Yeah.
If I was at least an hour away, I'd probably visit them more often for sure.
Yeah.
Probably go almost every few weekends. But no, it is what it is, though. So I've gotten myself into a new video game.
Oh yeah.
Yep, called Lightyear Frontier. It's a farming survival mech game.
Hmm.
Yeah, you use a farming mech, go around mining and getting seeds and stuff on this alien planet that you go around and uh as you upgrade your uh mech tools, you start basically fixing the ecosystem and learning stuff about a ancient civilization that was there.
Oh wow.
Yeah. Uh and from what I got to in the lore, there's also other people on other planets. They're doing stuff like I just got contacted by a guy on a neighbor planet who's a biologist, I guess, or something like that. And he's like, well, he contacted, he's like, how did it, so since you're a farmer and I'm a biologist, yeah, I got some stuff I could use your help with. Could you build me a landing pad so I can show up? Like, oh, so I gotta go around my planet gathering my resources.
That's right.
God, how inconsiderate.
Oh man.
Ugh. But yeah, it's been quite a weekend for me.
What's that game called?
Lightyear Frontier. It's a game preview currently right now on Xbox at least.
Oh, okay.
And for anybody that listens and you have an Xbox, it's only for the Series X and S, so it's current gen only.
Hmm.
You can't get it on the one. I don't know if it's on PlayStation, and if it is, if it's only PS5 or it's also on PS4. And for sure it's on. I know for sure it's on PC because when you look at the controls, it has the PC controls stuff too,
Yeah, I was about to
mouse
say
and keyboard.
most Xbox games are usually also on.
Yeah,
Uh,
which is made my wife like because she can't play because she has the Xbox One while I went up to the S.
yeah.
Hopefully, with the taxes, at tax time, I can get a couple new TVs for the house because ours are getting old, and get a Series X. And I can let her have the Series S and put the Xbox One in the guest bedroom for anyone to watch, like, Netflix and shit on.
Yeah.
And she can actually play the game because it is multiplayer. It's a multiplayer, like, and you can do like different parts for your mech. Like the mech is kind of weird. So I don't know why they chose the design this way, but the crotch piece of the mech when you first get it is actually like the front end of a tractor. That's the engine.
Oh
And you
wow.
can swap it out. Like you can have uh like as a reward they gave out a few like, special skins. One is a zebra stripe hot rod skin. So you put the arm part and you can change out the windshield uh for it, and it's basically like an old hot rod with the the um mufflers coming out the side of the engine, just right there in your mech's crotch.
Yeah.
And another one is a the vintage style, but it's a taxi skin.
Hmm.
Because like you can buy the vintage and the hot rod style when you unlock the merchant, and they're just the plain color scheme that you can naturally have, which you can make dyes and make paints and paint your mech,
Oh really?
but they'll just be the color you put on it. With the taxi and the striped hot rod, it'll always be like if I went to paint it red, it'll be red with black stripes. And same with the taxi with red and the yellow and the black. It'd be red with the black taxi emblems and shit. And then they had a Halloween skin. The one I currently purchased, I so actually sold all my resources to get it, all the pieces of it, because
Mhm.
it makes your mech suit look like a medieval knight. And the windscreen has like metal bars and stuff around it to give you like that cross look, like it's a like how like the helmets, the face shields have like some different designs and shit.
Right.
And they used metal bars to make like the design for that.
Hmm.
So I'm running around a planet looking like I'm a damn crusader in a mech
Hey,
suit.
ain't nothing wrong with that. Yeah.
And it's fun, and it's kind of comical because I'll go to jump in the mech suit and do a boost to try to get somewhere else, and I'll catch something with just the foot of the mech, and I'll start tumbling down the hill. Like I hopped out of my mech thinking it was done moving, and I ended up chasing it down the hill. My mech's just rolling. I'm trying to chase it so I can flip it back over. So they have some funky little physics with the mech. But if you're into farming games and you like mechs and stuff and alien planets, all that kind of crap, it's a fun little relaxing game so far. Like I haven't had to fight anything. So there's alien creatures that you can go around and feed. Like you set up your base, you get a little house, and you start out with a tent, then you move up to a little cottage and so forth, so on. You can grow different crops and use those crops for certain parts and stuff, and flowers for paints.
Hmm.
It's really cool. uh, I don't know. So
So
I'm guessing you probably haven't because I don't think you have HBO Max.
no, not anymore. Yeah, I used to.
The new show, The Penguin, finished up all eight of its episodes, and it's freaking good. Like if you're a DC fan, it is a heck of a watch. Even Danny DeVito was in love with it. And if if anybody doesn't know, which I don't know why you would know, Tim Burton's Batman movie, Danny DeVito played the Penguin. And he's like he's been loving all the other two people that's portrayed the Penguin. But it's very I mean, and it's in the same universe as Matt Reeves' the Batman with Robert Pattinson.
Oh, really? Okay.
Yeah, it's still a Matt Reeves series. He directed it and all that. It's the same guy actor who played the Penguin in the movie. It's it's going to tie into the Batman 2. Uh, because like the Batman 2 is supposed to like explain why you don't see Batman in the show, even though there's all this crime going on between this because basically what it is, it's Falcone has passed away. Falcone was murdered or whatever. And with Falcone dead, which in the comics, which I'm interested in how they're going to do it with Matt Reeves stuff. Uh, how he's planning on doing this is in the comics, the death of Falcone is heralded as the end of the gangster villain and the usher into the supervillain. His death marks the end and the beginning. Yeah, it's like because he's that typical gangster family mafia style. Him, the Falcones, the Maroons, always at war with each other, and his death ushers in the age of the supervillain. Well, in the beginning of the series, uh, it talks about his fact that he's dead now because I think if I remember correctly, he died in the Batman or was like about to die in the Batman or something. I can't remember. I have
I
to
don't
rewatch the movie
remember it, to be honest with you.
because of course, not Joker, the Riddler took most priority of people's minds in that because he's the main villain.
Yeah.
But and it does talk about like one of the characters, like he has a flashback of what happened because he was in the bad part of Gotham. That's where him and his family lived, or the poor part of Gotham. I wouldn't really say the bad part. I mean, it is technically the bad part because all that's where all the drugs and shit are peddled for the most part. But like,
Yeah.
it's the poor neighborhoods.
Yeah.
He actually has a flashback of him watching the explosions happen and the water flooding in
Hmm.
from the Riddler attack, the Riddler's attack, I should say, because it was more than just Edward Nigma. But it follows that Penguin trying to rise to power amidst the wreckage of the Falcone and Marone family, and trying to play both sides to set them all up to basically take over everything. Because where you see him in uh the Batman, he's still working for Falcone as just one of he just runs like the just a section of the drug running part of the
Yeah.
business. And I mean before that he was just a driver for the Falcone family, specifically Falcone's daughter, which she's introduced in this. Uh she gets out of Arkham in the series, which and so there's a whole like without trying to give any actual spoilers, like this is whole like back and forth between if for a little while is like Penguin and her going to actually team up and actually be a team, or are they going to betray? Who's going to betray who? Uh, is Penguin actually going to? Is this version of Penguin's going to stay working for the Falcons, or is he going to join the Macaronis, or is he trying? It's this whole big thing, and like, I mean, each episode is an hour long, so it's a movie each episode.
Yeah.
It's like half the series is as half the series, and you watch the entire movie of the Avengers, Infinity War, and Endgame. So, but it is phenomenally great, and the fact that so look, do you have your phone with you?
Yeah.
Look up the Penguin,
Paint just penguin.
the Penguin,
Oh,
and look at the face of the Penguin. Look how all the prosthetics they did, and then look at who the actor is. Like you wouldn't, me personally, I wouldn't have been able to tell if I didn't already, know that. But I'm kind of curious if you could tell.
let's see. Talking about the face on the cover art here.
Yeah,
Right.
you
Who
see
is that
the
actor? Let's see. Colin Farrell.
yeah, that's
That,
Colin
that name
Farrell.
sounds familiar. Who is Colin Farrell?
Uh, wow,
I know the name sounds familiar.
wow.
Yeah, I don't know
He
much
was
about
in
celebrities
he was
people.
the he was in Total Recall. He was Bullseye in the Ben Affleck Daredevil movie. Did you watch the 2011 Fright Night?
No.
Oh, he's the vampire for that. He was in SWAT, Miami Vice. I'm trying to think of really movie that you probably would have watched. Hmm. You probably wouldn't have watched that one, knowing you. I'm sure you didn't watch Voyagers. Yeah, I mean he's a big time actor, but knowing your taste in movies, you probably haven't seen most of his movies.
Some of these movies I've seen, but I haven't seen them in forever. Like
Yeah.
I've seen SWAT before, but I haven't seen that movie since I was like a preteen. And Minority Report and Phone Booth. And I don't even know if he's a main character in those movies. So
Hmm.
yeah.
Well, in SWAT, you can actually see him on the cover.
Oh, can you?
Yeah, if you look at the picture of SWAT, he's on the cover.
Oh well, yeah, that is him. Yeah, yeah. I haven't
Yeah,
some yeah. Admittedly, I don't. The name sounds familiar, but he doesn't look familiar to me. I probably
yeah.
just
Did
heard
you
his name thrown around.
you watched Daredevil, right? Ben Affleck Daredevil.
Yeah, a long time ago.
He's Bullseye.
Is he?
Yeah,
Oh,
that's.
okay. Yeah, that was a long time ago. I don't really remember what Bullseye looks like.
Yeah, he was Bullseye. But yeah, he doesn't look like you wouldn't actually could tell that he's actually he could go out and wear the makeup out in public and no one would ever know that's Phil Collins. I mean Colin Farrell. Why the hell did I say Phil Collins?
You had the name Colin on you, so that was just what
Yeah.
came. Yeah, they did make him look quite a bit different. Yeah, that.
Yeah. He said that, it was a pain in the ass, all that. Of course, the all the way he had a limp and shit.
Yeah,
But he's like, I'm still doing it. He's like, I fucking loved it. He's like, it's a bitch in there, but I'm still doing it.
yeah.
But Danny Vito actually had a interview, which is where I got the whole, he could go out and you would never know. Somebody had a Danny interview asking if they asked him if he's seen the Penguin yet, because of course, Danny DeVito played the Penguin,
Yeah.
and he's like, I haven't watched it all, but I watched a few episodes, and he's like, and I loved it. I love it. He's like, he's it's funny because he's like, it's like when I was playing the penguin, it's a different type of penguin. It's the gangster penguins.
Yeah.
My penguin was kind of like, the misunderstood bird.
Yeah. It's
He's
also
like,
fair to say that Tim Burton kind of goes for more of that, I guess you could say cartoony style. Even though
yeah,
they're dark movies, they still have kind of a cartoony feel to them. So,
it's weird. He makes dark cartoons.
yeah.
Um, but he went on to say like he's like everyone knew it was me. He's like even with all the prosthetics, everyone knew it's me. He's like I'm unmistakable. You know, he's like, but Colin over here could go out to dinner in the costume, and you never know it was him. But apparently he loved the movie. He's also apparently enjoyed Gotham, the TV show Gotham.
Oh, yeah.
Their take on Penguin, like upcoming and why he was still the scrawny the actor. No prosthetics needed until the end when he wore a fat suit.
Yeah.
Uh, which is that actually makes me happy when like because you see it all the time with some like voice actors and actors who are like, I don't like any other version but my version of a character. Like, but so and it always pisses me off. Like, well, every people can actually be a different version.
Yeah.
Like, there's nothing wrong as long as the version is good, as long as their acting is good, writing is good. But like, but then you get people like Danny DeVito who like, yeah, every other penguin that's followed me is like, it's great. They're all different types of penguins. He's like, I'm happy. I'm glad they were good.
Yeah.
And then you have on the third party over here with Wesley Snipes. So in the Deadpool movie and Wolverine movie, he reprises his role as Blade, which was great because he is the first live action Blade.
Yeah.
And no one, we don't really count the TV show Blade.
I didn't even know there was a TV show, Blade.
It was like one season.
Oh, okay. That's probably
Yeah.
why I never heard of it.
Um, but it was supposed to continue off like, Blade's still storyline, or I guess, or whatever of the Wesley Snipes Blade.
Mhm.
Uh, but Deadpool makes a comment about something about, how many versions of somebody is there, or whatever, of these people. And Wesley Snipes is like, there's only ever been one Blade, only ever will be one Blade. And the funny thing is, and that was actually direct joke to uh what's that actor's name? Shit. I gotta look him up. But there was an actor that was supposed to be the new Blade. And uh Mahershala Ali.
Hmm.
I'm butchering his name, but it's Ali. So he was supposed to be Blade. and it's been a thing for years about him supposed to be Blade. And well, they just haven't gotten off the ground with that movie. It's been, uh basically been directing hell for years now.
Yeah.
So they made that joke about it. Well, the joke even hits harder now because they've actually apparently Disney's fully canceled the movie.
Hmm.
So as it sets, technically we've only had one Blade. And probably will only have one Blade.
Yeah. Well, probably for a long time anyway.
But like he's doing it as the memes. Like because the thing is
Yeah.
also he will come back as Blade if anybody ever asked him to. Wesley Snipes loved that character.
Yeah.
But like but he's really like he wouldn't care if Ali came out with and they actually came out with the movie and Ali was Blade. As long as the movie's good, he probably would give him good marks. But he's enjoying the memes. So it's kind of that third party. Like he's making jokes out of no other actor's been able to pull off what he did.
Yeah.
And I mean, it's not. And the TV show actor. I mean, I didn't really like it at all. It was yeah. And the movie just. I mean, it's not Ali's fault. Like he never really got a chance. But those are the three types of from what I've noticed. Three types of actors who play big time characters that can have multiple versions of itself in like the superhero business and shit. You good?
Yeah. You're just stretching.
Uh, yeah.
Yes, I'm
Anything?
chewing on ice.
Apparently, they're gonna put Godzilla in Fortnite.
Oh, that doesn't surprise me.
Dude, Fortnite's getting annoying with all the what it really is. Like they're doing all this shit to try and stay relevant. Ugh.
Mhm. Mhm.
Honestly, there hasn't been any really like big like news thing or anything like that lately. Nothing really for a podcast such as ours to sink its teeth into, in my opinion. At
Yeah.
least from my end, like
Yeah. I've mostly just been focused on my game. I've been kind of out of the loop on everything. So,
yeah. Well, like I am excited for Daredevil Born Again, which does have Charlie Cox reprising his role as Daredevil.
it's a movie, right?
It's a show
Oh, okay.
gonna be on Disney Plus. Because Charlie Cox played Daredevil for the Marvel Daredevil show, which if you haven't watched it, if you have Netflix, fucking watch it. It is brilliant. The fight choreography is mwah, beautiful. The acting is top notch, and like it ties in with. I mean, and it gets tied in with the other Marvel Netflix shows. Which funny little thing about that is the Marvel Netflix Marvel shows were all talking about the MCU stuff, so they were trying to put themselves in the MCU. Like, they all started with Jessica Jones, which introduced Luke Cage, and then they had Daredevil, which introduced Punisher before he came into his own spinoff, and then they had Iron Fist and his own stuff. But Jessica Jones talks about the alien attack on New York and how people were getting powers after the attack,
Hmm.
and but it all comes together like the Jessica Jones show is freaking phenomenal. And I keep telling people, like, look, if you want to see a show or a movie with a strong ass, great storytelling, lead female actress, it is great. It's right there in the Marvel universe. You have Jessica Jones, who's a
She,
detective with super strength. And she does have her fair share of mental problems and hurdles. Like she has an ex who's a criminal, and I can't remember what his power is in the show, but he does torment her, and she does eventually, get her, payback on his ass. But like, and then you end up getting Luke Cage joining in with her show for a little bit, which is just basically a soft pilot for his own TV show. And they periodically, come back and forth because they have a fling with each other. Uh they have a thing with each other. And then eventually they become the Defenders, which is Jessica Jones, Luke Cage, uh Iron Fist, and Daredevil all working together in the show over here. And they even separated as the Defenders. It's not like, oh, we'll do, because like Arrowverse did a cool thing where, when they had their special, they all joined up together. One of the special episodes was on Arrow, the other one was on Flash, the other one was next one was on Supergirl, and then on Batwoman, Legends, vice versa. How when they had started adding them all in,
yeah.
because first it was Arrow and Flash, and then it was Arrow, Flash, Supergirl. Well, it was Flash and Supergirl because Flash is the one who introduced the Supergirl. But the main big special was then at the time was the Dominator special, which was it was on one episode was on Arrow, one episode was on Flash, one episode was on Legends of Tomorrow, the other episode was on Supergirl because they were all coming out at the same time. And and it was cool because they had one, different time slots, so on different days. So you watch the newest episode of Arrow or whoever to start the special, and the newest episode of Flash to continue. And that was a cool concept, and I really loved it. But what Netflix did instead of doing something like that, they made a whole different show called The Defenders.
Hmm.
So their whole Avengers as a team was that one season. And if they had gotten greenlighted to keep going, they would have had another season eventually of The Defenders.
Yeah.
Uh, but that way they can mainly focus on most of their other stuff in their actual shows, but they still talk about that. And then they were also setting up Heroes for Hire, which the Heroes for Hire is Iron Fist and Luke Cage. And they looked like they were getting ready to set that up because Luke Cage and Iron Fist had a couple episode crossover.
Hmm.
And the Heroes for Hire is an actual whole comic book series. So is the Defenders. So they actually made it more. They've made it feel like a comic book. Like you read, oh, Daredevil's doing this adventure over here, but in between some of the stuff that's going on over here, and you see all these time skips, this is what he was doing over here, and with Jessica and all them doing that time skip kind of thing. But but Disney ended up saying that, oh, y'all's not going to be part of the MCU. Y'all weren't part of the MCU. Y'all's somewhere else. And now they're bringing in Daredevil, Charlie Cox. They brought him into Spider-Man Far From Home as Spider-Man as Peter Parker's lawyer. And then they announced they were going to do Daredevil Born Again. First, they were trying to say, oh, it's going to be a remake. It's going to be a whole new series. It's going to tie in just with the MCU. It's not going to have anything to do with the Netflix show. Now they're saying it's going to have something to do with the Netflix show. Which means like, well, that ties into the Netflix show. That means Jessica Jones, Luke Cage, and Iron Fist and Punisher have to all exist because he crosses over with them now in his own show. especially Punisher because him and Frank Castle actually have he's trying to convince Frank not to stop being as much of a killer, and they're actually fighting each other for a little bit. Which so I'm like, all right, make up your mind, people. Like seriously, and it's like you have all this lore that Netflix already made you. Just take it all and continue it because I would love to see more Jessica Jones. I would love to see more Luke Cage and Iron Fist, and definitely want to see more Punisher. That dude, the dude that's fighting Frank Castle. Did you ever watch The Walking Dead?
No,
Oh, well, damn. But it's the same actor that plays fuck, what's his name? Rick Grimes' best friend in The Walking Dead that he ends up having to kill. Uh, shit, why did I forget his character's name? It's been so long since I've actually watched that show. But he went from that character to being Frank Castle's Punisher.
hmm.
Well, so what do you think about? Might as well just rip the band-aid off for this topic. How controversial people are considering this. So, what was your opinion on the Mike Tyson Jake Paul fight?
I didn't watch it. But I
Uh,
mean, I know Jake Paul won, but the only
yeah,
thing I know about it is like the memes I saw on it. Like people were complaining about Netflix running slow. People were complaining about the people that put money on Mike Tyson were complaining that Jake Paul won, and a bunch of other little jokes here and there. That's pretty much all I know about
uh,
it.
yeah. I guess with the Netflix thing on the live stream, I think I'd seen it was something like $40 million lawsuit or something like that. Some high ass fucking number
Yeah, I heard something about it. Yeah,
over the fucking live stream failing. What the fuck? It's like, yeah, it's gonna fail when you have that many motherfuckers watching the live.
yeah.
Like, uh,
Why does it do that though? Why does it
uh,
cause that to slow down just because a bunch of people are watching the same thing?
well, so basically, it's because they had to pull all that. So with like TV, it's the networks feeding it towards your TV. They have all their radio towers and this and that.
Yeah,
With stuff like video games and Netflix, they're all on a specific uh
I
oh, what
guess
do they
because it's
call
running
it?
on the server, right?
Yeah, it's just on their server only. And when you got all these people signed in on the server, uh it can really start to drag down the server.
Yeah, I
And
guess
according to
I guess it's
Netflix, like
kind of a yeah,
at the max, at its height, they had over 108 million people watching it live.
yeah,
So when you get that many accounts fucking signed in, and thing is, Netflix typically doesn't do live stuff like that. So like, it's not something that they normally do.
yeah.
So there was a lot of strain on their servers. It's just like when a new online game comes out and has a mass rush to play it. People like, if it's a one game that a lot of people are interested in, like, the Call of Duty games and shit, you'll see server dropping and all this all the time because they build their servers to, okay, we could theoretically handle 20 million people in the server.
Yeah.
Well, you get 20 million and one, and they're all shooting their guns. They're all finding glitches in the middle of the game, and the servers start to drag because it starts processing all this running and running because they cannot actually fully test it with all the people that could play it. Um, there was no way of knowing 108 million people were going to watch the Jake Paul Mike Tyson fight. Like, you hope for high numbers, but like, you can't really fully predict how many people.
Yeah.
like, Black Ops 6, which is the newest Call of Duty, uh, that didn't get the best, but like, let's see here. I'm trying to figure out the day one. Uh, research, research, research. Love research. It's probably less considering it's not on PlayStation anymore because Microsoft owns it, but most servers are not like you can build a server like, okay, there is this many people that could potentially get on the server. You can't test it because, like, well, what company's got say 300 to 400,000 or more, people to test a game?
Yeah.
They stress test it, they do all this and that, and they hope for the best. But that's why there's someone actively on, like, live. I'm sure Netflix had people watching the all this going down and actually trying to fix it. Because like you'll watch it with these massive releases of these games. Uh, they'll actively be posting stuff and actively watching the servers. Like the whole team's there to watch the servers and to celebrate. If it's a success or not. And and they have they're there and they see the servers start going down. They have one other person there start making posts about, hey, we're working on it, blah blah blah, or whatever, while the other, the members of the team are on the computers getting the servers back up and doing, basically that's the stress test. That's the biggest stress test is day one. So for a special live like that to have 108 million people, because like Netflix, actually, you notice like there's certain times during the day that Netflix starts to buffer a little bit more,
Um,
where it seems like sometimes you can't get the full
I probably don't watch it enough to notice, to be honest.
well, there's also, you can pay attention, you don't get like, sometimes it won't, the oh, what's it called, the frame rate, not the frame rates, but the fucking shit, if I can freaking think today, holy crap, the quality level like a lot of times will drop.
Oh yeah, like you're
Like,
talking about the resolution of it.
yeah, like you'll all of a sudden be like clear. Then there's points in the day that almost every show you watch is kind of blurry-ish, hazy.
Yeah,
Like it went from 1080p and HD or HD or whatever to,
yeah, it drops. Yeah,
yeah. And that's because, that's when you can tell when the servers have its high point of like everyone's home and they're streaming.
yeah. Netflix has always kind of been an on and off thing for me anyway. Like I only really watch it when I'm watching certain shows. The only
Yeah.
time I can ever think of the where I actually sat there and watched Netflix very regularly
Hmm.
is when I was watching Breaking Bad. So that's the
Yeah.
only time, and I probably didn't watch it long. I went through that show pretty quick, and so I probably didn't watch it long enough
Uh,
to really catch any of that. I will tell
I
you one
went,
streaming service that's slow as crap is Paramount Plus. Every time I'd get on there, it's slow. It's so slow.
yeah. Uh, I know that's why I enjoy being on overnights when I first started with our job
Yeah,
is all the, most people at like, I'm watching these shows on Netflix and shit at like 2 a.m. And so like my phone's not struggling to, work with the servers. Like I
yeah,
barely ever had it like kick me out of the episode like, oh, there's something went wrong. Like, but now like at work, like it's at a certain point on like Crunchyroll or whatever,
yeah.
I have like it'd be like, oh, something went wrong. I never had that when I was overnights. And it's like, oh well, I guess and it's worse in the summer. But I
Yeah,
noticed that because, also being a heavy online gamer, you notice those drags and stuff in the games, and after a while you get used to it, so you start noticing it elsewhere. And it's like right now with my TV paused because noticed it once. Every time I look at my TV, my eyes immediately go to this
oh,
one
excuse me.
red fucking dot, little tiny red dot on my screen where the picture is fucked up. Just that little tiny dot,
That's
and I
weird.
notice it every time
Hmm.
because that's how my eyes work. That's how my brain works as well. I guess that's just the aspect of being, a big online gamer and a streamer, and because you do more than just watch shows and stuff when you're at work.
Yeah,
Also, when you first started with us, you couldn't actually watch anything you didn't download
yeah. Well, admittedly, I haven't watched much, really, hardly any shows at work in a while.
because your
Uh,
games.
yeah, well, I was hooked on playing other games for a few months there, and then I started. Now I've been working on my game, so that's what I've been doing. And
Yeah.
I hadn't even been watching YouTube, so I haven't
Yeah,
done nothing else but do that.
I I haven't been like uh felt like I would have enough time like to bring my I don't know how like Jared or Paul and them could done it on the first shift, bringing their game consoles.
Yeah, I don't think Jared really brought his game consoles that much on the first.
Oh, almost every time he brought his Switch. He still had a Switch with him.
Well, I know that, but I don't know how much playing he was actually doing on it. But
Yeah.
yeah, I know on the weekend, yeah, for sure he brought everything. But
Yeah,
uh,
and I've gotten so out of tune with bringing the Switch that keep forgetting when I cover overtime to bring it. But like, so I'm like, I just have a show on some background music or whatever, an audio drama, or sometimes I'll have podcast or rest in peace to one of my favorite YouTubers, Comic Historian. He read off comic books.
oh,
Uh,
okay, yeah,
and he was one of my favorite people that did that. So I'll listen to him and some of his old stuff every once in a while. But I couldn't sit there and actually play anything on my shift.
yeah.
I
Your
would just
shift
get
would be hard. I probably wouldn't even bother. I would just
like,
watch YouTube or something, I
I
guess.
could probably play something
Mm.
simple like Pokemon or,
Yeah,
a
if it was
farm
like
game.
a turn-based game or something where you can kind of hop in and out of it, I could probably do that. But
But like, I just don't,
yeah,
I'm
I
more
don't think I could do
cranky.
like an action game. Yeah.
Yeah, I can do an action game for sure. But like when it comes to games in general, like, and like my brain's like, well, it's your job. You shouldn't be, you don't need to get irritated because technically we should, you're
Yeah.
getting away with being able to play games and watch shows at your work.
Yeah.
But like I get like, oh, come on, man. I'm trying to watch my show here. So I can only imagine how I get with any type of game. Like, dude, I'm trying to do something here. I
Yeah.
don't want to deal with you. I don't want to do my job, but I gotta do my job. But fuck you.
Yeah. I
And it
always
really
do
ruined my day when like some of the companies come in with like a 6 bill load. And I'm like,
the I always do make the joke with myself anytime I catch myself getting annoyed by trucks showing up. I'm like, I'll be like when I actually physically can feel myself like getting pissed off, you know. I was like, and I'm
Yeah.
like, geez, like they act like I'm supposed to be working or something, you know, because that kind of helps ease that tension a little bit.
Yeah,
Because
I've
it
started
helps
doing,
me realize, like, well, you're supposed to be working, you know, that's literally your job.
yeah. Well,
Mm.
like I've been making jokes and stuff. Like my best favorite one is like, no, go away. It's nap time.
Yeah,
I don't want to deal with you. Go away. It's nap time.
yeah. Mhm.
Like that's why I try to. Some drivers you can't really make those jokes with, but
I don't know. Most of my drivers are usually cranky, so I only have like maybe five drivers that are pretty cool. Pretty cool. The rest of them are all like, if I say anything to them, they just stare at me like I'm crazy. I'm like, okay, so I guess we'll just stand here
yeah,
in silence while I fill out the paperwork. So,
I've
mm,
started noticing like a difference in my drivers because like the longer I've been there on that shift, like one driver, we didn't really talk. He just came in, done his job, blah blah.
yeah.
And now, like me and him are talking about games and computer systems, and this is not every once in a while when he shows up.
Not really.
Hmm. Because he was rebuilding his computer, and he was asking about. It started because he asked if I know where a computer store is,
Oh
and
yeah.
then he started talking about what he wants to do with his computer, and we started talking about it. And then we got into game because since we both play on PC and stuff, started talking about games, and but I'm that type of person. Like at work, I try to be more social. Like I force myself to be more social because it's
Yeah.
kind of a part of the
I
job.
I do that as well. I kind of have to force myself to talk because I don't most of the time I usually don't want to. Mm.
Like, and I do have some drivers that kind of like, hey, if I don't talk, like, hey, you all right, man? What's wrong with you? I'm like, this is just kind of me, man. Nothing's wrong. I'm normal today.
Yeah, it's just not in a talkative mood. Yeah.
But people, of course, if you watch or listen to the podcast, you ain't gonna know that about me because I'm the one that talks the most
Yeah. Well,
on here.
actually,
But
it's not really talking. I have a problem. I love talking. It's just talking to people I don't know or people maybe I don't see as often can sometimes be a struggle for me to force me to find something to say, I guess is and it's probably because I'm introverted. So there's that it always feels like there's that blockage there when I'm trying to talk to somebody
yeah,
I don't really know as well, or maybe I don't see very often.
yeah,
But once you get to know me, then you can't get me to shut up. So
yeah, yeah. It's just like I've forced myself to be more social but because like what I've noticed a way to make it easy for myself is if like with the driver I was recently talking about, like I didn't know him, so I didn't really talk much. I just said the normal job stuff, was friendly, whatever. But once I seen an in where I could actually like, oh, okay, now I can actually be more social because there's something that he's into that I know about.
yeah.
And I'll become more social like that when I notice that's like when I did my interview with Jared because he was playing Minecraft on his I think it was on his computer.
Hmm.
I was like, okay, now I know I have something to talk about with my boss. And I felt less awkward.
Yeah. I never really
But
felt like it was that much of a struggle to come up with something to talk with Jared. I just kind of started talking and then it just kind of went from there. With with you,
like
it was trickier for me because you came off as such an aggressive person when I first met you. Like the way you talked, you just like asserted yourself like so strongly, and that was just like a big like whoa for me. I wasn't used to that kind of energy, so it was hard for me to like say stuff.
yeah,
I was just
so
like,
you
just let you talk. I don't know what to say to you.
you caught me when we first
Yeah,
met, when you came in the guard check at the time where I'm like, I'm half fucking asleep. I'm ready to go the fuck home.
yeah,
And now there's some random person in the guard check. I'm just gonna talk and see where not. I don't like awkward silence when
yeah.
I'm that tired. I'm like, and I also have no filter when I'm that tired.
Yeah. Well, I can get like that too, but yeah, I'm not usually again not around people I don't know as well, and I didn't know you like
Yeah.
at all then. So you were just
Yeah,
like
because like
you would just
that
start going
was
off about stuff, and I'm like, oh, this is weird for me. I don't know how to respond to this
yeah,
situation.
because that was my first week there, and I hadn't worked an overnight job in almost a year.
Yeah.
So that first week was just dragging on. And I was so fucking tired. You walked in, I'm like, oh wow. Jared's late. Now I'm gonna have to deal with this new person sitting here. And I didn't want to make myself feel awkward or anything, so I just started talking. And once I started, I just couldn't find a place to shut the fuck up. I was probably too tired to even care. And then on the weekend shift, when we first worked the weekend together after I came back after that month hiatus, I was like, okay, now this is awkward. Been quiet for like past 2 hours, and he's just sitting behind me. I got to figure out something.
That's yeah, that was back when I was just watching YouTube all the time with my
Yeah,
headphones.
yeah, and that probably also made me feel extra weirded out because
I
you were
was used to working with Matt at the time because Matt just did the same thing as me. He just sat there and watched his shows or movies, and I did. So we were
yeah.
both kind of had our own space, and I just kind of got used to doing that. So when suddenly when I was working with you a couple of times, I was just like, yeah, and you just kept trying to talk to me, asking me all these questions, and I was giving you like one worded answers. I was like,
You were.
I was like, yeah.
And the funny thing about it is the entire time I never once thought you were being a dick.
Oh no, I wasn't trying to. I hope I wasn't trying to give off that.
Oh, I was just like every time you'd be like, well, I guess he's not that interested. Okay, I'll just do my thing then.
I think people get that impression, or at least maybe that's just my overthinking kicking in. But when they first meet me, they think of me as like a person that doesn't want to get to know people or talk that much. I think that's the impression that people get from me when they first meet me because that's how I behave. So, but really, I'm not like that at all. So,
Yeah. Well, like my impression of it was just like, okay, like I guess he's just not interested or he's just not in the mood. So I was like, I'll just leave him alone. Maybe I'll try again in a couple hours.
yeah.
And
But
I would periodically try with something new until I finally found the thing that cracked the shell.
yeah, I don't even remember what that was.
I don't either. Because I had talked, we have talked so much about it, so
Probably
much shit
video
about it.
games, knowing us. Some kind
Yeah.
of or some kind of video game series, I'm sure. So
Yeah. Or it was either that or when you started doing your because you acted so weird every once in a while, like randomly, like you had you still somewhat do had the habit of just randomly laughing,
what?
or like something would catch your attention or whatever you're doing, you just randomly just outburst laughed, and I'm just like, was it good?
Oh, I was probably watching something on my phone. I don't know. So.
Yeah, like you would. Oh, what was that you were doing? Oh yeah, freaking A.
Oh yeah. Oh, where I kept singing the freaking A song, but
Yeah,
yeah,
and I just like, well, I guess he's. I
that
don't
was
know.
back before I started cussing all the time. Yeah.
Yeah.
You can thank South Park for that. Once I started watching South Park, now I have a sailor mouth.
Good. I was about to. I almost have expected you said things to me because I always cussed
Yeah.
every
Yeah.
time.
No, I've been around many people that cuss before, and
Uh,
it never brushed off on me really. Uh, but yeah, South Park was what started because I kept quoting the show all the time. Some of my favorite funny lines, and well, every other line in that show is
it's a
like
cuss word. Yeah.
pretty much. So that's kind of what picked it up. So and then I just it kind of snowballed from there. So now it's just
Yep.
kind of become a part of my common everyday language. So
I don't even honestly because I've been cussing for so long in my with my language. Like I don't remember what kicked off me not getting a fuck no more about my language.
Yeah,
And all I know is it's just been that way and because I don't see no word as a bad word
yeah,
for the most part. It's all I see words only the usage of said word is bad.
yeah.
Because like, I'm very much your usage of it uh just makes the definition. Like if I was to say someone like, hey, you want a fag? Typically the word fag would be bad. But in that definition for me, usage of it is the typical use, the original usage of the word fag, which is cigarette.
I don't know anybody that says that though in their everyday language.
It was overseas. I don't even think they use it
Yeah,
half the time anymore. It's
yeah,
one of those old
yeah.
words.
I know. I mean, I know
Like
it was a back in the day thing, which actually
like
that originally, I think it originally meant like a bundle of sticks, but then
oh,
it kind of,
faggot meant
yeah,
bundle sticks.
spread over to, and that's how it got involved somehow with cigarettes, but I don't remember.
Yeah, it was faggot for a
Mm.
bundle of sticks, and they called a fag for cigarette.
Well, what was a
And
bundle of cigarettes?
but I'd actually have to look up how the term got used for uh damn cat. Wanting to play and I'm trying to focus. Used to, as a derogatory term. Like and I don't actually know the history of that.
Yeah.
Ew. Ew.
Well, some words can be tricky sometimes, the changing of words, because it's not like there's, a group of people standing there with a book, copying down every time a meaning of a word changes, sitting there, going, okay, this is the new urban. Well, nowadays we kind of do thanks to the Urban Dictionary websites, but back in
Yeah.
those days that wasn't really a thing.
Well,
So
and believe
it
it or
would just
not,
kind of sort of slowly insert itself into common language.
yeah.
So, mm.
Like,
And then,
well, but we
fast
do
forward
sometimes,
50 years later,
know,
they're like, where did this word even come from? How did we start using this? Yeah. Mhm.
yeah, like, but sometimes, majority of the time, we do know, like, why it was decided to be used that way.
Well, I mean,
But, like,
there are sometimes we have good ideas, but yeah, we don't know precisely sometimes.
because, like, the reason we were calling people an ass is we were calling them a donkey.
Yeah, but yeah, there's more than one way to use that context though. So,
And it just, like, well, the thing is, donkeys are
and plus
stubborn.
that's an easier word because that's such an old word. So,
Yeah, well, also with donkeys, it's because they're stubborn.
yeah.
They're stubborn, hard-headed. They're pretty mean. So when you're acting like a donkey, you're an ass.
Yeah.
So it was easy to start to alter that term because it was already used to describe something that was, well, being an ass.
Yeah.
Like, but I don't understand how like word like boner, like, because boner or bonehead,
I don't know if I'd consider that to be a cuss word, but I mean, it's not a word I'd
was
use
like,
around certain
calling someone stupid
people.
or,
Yeah. But
yeah. Well, it's still a good word. It's still a word that, has a original meaning that got altered. So
right.
it still
Well,
fits.
pretty much every word has an alternate meaning, but yeah.
No, I mean, not every word. There's some words that was meant to what it's meant for and it's stayed. I mean,
So English has always existed.
well, English is created. It's made up like all languages. So, I mean,
Do what?
I said English is just one of the, just like every other language, it's a made up language. It's a made up thing. So,
That's what I said, but that's how languages come about, though. They evolve from other languages. by small changes of words over time
Hmm.
and changing of spellings and style of the writing and stuff too.
Yeah.
Well, but yeah, I guess that's about all the time we got today, though. So almost out of
Yeah.
time.
Woo.
Yeah.
Yeah, we didn't yeah, sorry viewers and listeners. This is probably more of a one of our gonna be our boring episode. Just title this one boring. Just move on.
In all
Easy
caps.
title. Yeah.
Boring.
Yeah.
And
Because
put
I mean,
exclamation mark, exclamation mark, exclamation mark.
Mr. Kevin Emery over here can only think about his video game
I'm sorry, I have a very one-track mind. So once I get
and
obsessed with something, it's hard for me to think of other stuff. So
yeah, I get that. But
I literally wake up and go to sleep thinking about it. So
well, I guess down in the comment below, what was the most boring topic we had today? Also, what is your favorite word that had an original meaning when it first was created
oh, excuse me.
and been completely altered today and age? And as usual, don't forget to like, subscribe on Facebook, and follow us on Spotify. Not Facebook, I mean YouTube. Jeez, you
I
got
was
my
sitting there
brain
thinking
fucking up.
Facebook.
Yes, we're gonna have a Facebook page now. Fuck that.
Yeah.
And for the one track mind guy, don't forget to download Kevin's game. Woo! All right, everyone. Have a good night, good day, good evening, good whatever you have to say. Bye.